Let's talk trade for a few minutes now, as Blake brought it up. And, there's been a few stories out about, just generally speaking, a lot of manufacturing companies starting to raise prices, either to cope with the tariffs that are already in place or maybe get ahead of some that they're afraid might be in place in the future. So it's a good time to have this conversation with the Italian Prime Minister at the White House. From Global Automakers CEO John Bozzella is with us now. And one of the things, John, that we started to talk about earlier in the show was, with Brian Westbury and company who were on with us at the top of the show, is that a lot, you could argue, has been done to the good side for the economy because of tax cuts. Then you get into the tariffs and you start reading, for example, there's a story in the Wall Street Journal says consumers starting to see higher prices for recreational vehicles, soda, beer, and other goods. Companies start to raise their prices, and does that kind of offset some of the good from tax cuts? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question, Connell, and it's nice to be back with you. We've been concerned about that. I think the president's taken some very, very strong positive actions for the U.S. auto industry. Reducing taxes and reforming corporate taxes has been a winner for the U.S. auto industry. Reducing red tape and reforming regulations is a winner for the auto industry. But I am concerned, and many of us are in the industry, that we might be offsetting those wins with higher costs of manufacturing and higher prices that come with tariffs.
Now, there's a meeting. Blake talked about some of the Italian car makers just because the Prime Minister's there today. But I'd throw in the big and well-known German names, the BMWs and Mercedes of the world as well. There's a meeting in Geneva, from what I understand, with some of these companies next week. What do you know about that, and what might they do to try to counteract what's being talked about here?
Yes, there's no question. They're getting together in Geneva this week. And, we've had an opportunity to meet with just about every government officials from every one of those countries. These are major auto-producing countries: Canada, Mexico, Japan, Korea, the EU, that are getting together to try and figure out how to react to the potential for auto tariffs. I mean, we had good progress last week. I think talks are always better than tariffs, but we're nowhere near out of the woods with the potential for high taxes on autos.
All right, tell us, expand on that if you can, to what you think last week meant. You referred to the meeting at the White House, where it did look like, as I put it earlier, maybe a temporary truce was at least put in place so that we could talk about what to do between Europe and the United States. But you say today we're not out of the woods by any means. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I'm encouraged that we're having a conversation between the U.S. and the EU when it comes to reducing tariffs. And we favor getting tariffs lower all across the board for autos, but we still have this investigation being conducted by the Commerce Department, if you can believe it, about investigating whether auto imports and auto parts imports are a threat to the national security of the United States. That's still going on. What we've done with auto tariffs between the EU and the U.S. is we've just hit the pause button, depending on how conversations go.
What type of an impact would 25% was the number that's being thrown around? What type of an impact would that really have? Big time, right?
Look, it could be devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's 10 times. Auto trade with the U.S. is 10 times what steel trade is. And you're already seeing the impacts of steel tariffs on the automotive industry. I was talking to a manufacturer in Indiana, builds cars in Indiana, buys all his steel in Indiana. The price of that steel has gone up 20 or 30% since the tariffs. So if you apply that to autos, you could see higher prices and less auto production in the United States at a point in the auto cycle where we don't need that.
How do you counteract, or what's your reaction in general to the president's argument in all this, is that, hey, we're kind of getting hosed here by the Europeans? That's what he said, is that, we don't tax the cars coming in here as much as they tax the ones going over there. I've heard all sides of this about how we tax the trucks. That's why you don't see foreign-made trucks here. But what do you say to the president's argument there about cars?
Yeah, I think there's no question that we need to resolve trade barriers, and auto trade on both sides has barriers, as you point out. The question is not that. The question is, how do you do it? And again, that's why I was encouraged by last week. I think the way to do it is to have conversations, to have talks, and figure out how we can get to zero on both sides of the equation. I don't think tariffs do that. I think talks do that.
I think some people's takeaway from last week, clearly not yours, you still think there's a long way to go, but some people's takeaway was like, all right, he gets this. We know it. They're making progress. They're going to get something done eventually. The 25% was just a threat to get us to the negotiating table. You don't think so?
Well, again, I mean, this investigation, the 20 or 25% that's associated with this national security investigation, would apply to all our trading partners. Half of imports into the United States of cars come from Mexico and Canada, our NAFTA trading partners. And so they're not part of that EU-U.S. discussion. So those tariffs might go into effect.
John, thanks. It's always good to talk to you, by the way. Good insight on the industry, especially on some of these foreign companies that, by the way, aren't so foreign because many of them make their cars here, or at least big parts of them. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll keep checking back with you.